All right. Thank you for joining me. My name is Brian Banks from Your Career Day. Can you give us your name?
Yeah, my name is Carlee Bohannon.
All right, Carlee, where is your hometown?
I'm from Detroit, Michigan originally.
All right. What is your career title?
So I am a marine biologist. So I study marine animals and I focus on sharks and sea turtles. And I also am the director of communications for a nonprofit that I founded called Minorities in Shark Sciences.
All right, cool. Now, what does your job entail as a marine biologist or as a um, person running a nonprofit?
So being a marine biologist, there's so many different things that you can do and so many different animals that you can specialize in. So like I said earlier, I specialize in sharks and sea turtles. And really what I do is a lot of research. So I focus with sharks. I look at how tourism affects them and how different human activities affect them. And with sea turtles, I'm looking at how different fisheries, how they interact with different fisheries. So like lobster trap fishing,
Mhm.
blue crab trap fishing, things like that. And they also nest here in Florida. So I'll go out and mark some of the nests that are on the beaches. And with sharks, I also co-founded this organization, Minorities in Shark Sciences,
Mhm.
and our goal is to make shark science more accessible so that we see more people that look like us in the
Yeah.
field because it's not very accessible and it's a very pay-to-play field. So my job there is, helping to partner with organizations to create accessible opportunities for people who want to get into shark science, and specifically gender minorities of color is what we
Yeah.
focus on.
Mhm.
And yeah, my other job with them is really advertising. So
Yeah.
my role is communication. So I do a lot of marketing work and social media management. And I'll also say that when we first co-founded, it was, just for young Black women doing this.
Yeah.
So can't even say I had a marketing background, but here I am doing marketing stuff.
All right, good. Now, what type of education is required to be a marine biologist?
So it definitely depends on what avenue you want to take within marine biology, but
Mhm.
for the most part, you need at least a bachelor's degree. So if that's a 4-year degree at a university, and it
Mhm.
can really be in any of the sciences, and you can specialize in something after you graduate. So if you want to go into research, you can go and get a master's degree, which is another degree
Mhm.
after your bachelor's. And if you want to stay and like teach in like colleges or academia, then you would go on to your get your PhD.
Okay. Now, what is the best type of person suited to be a marine biologist?
So thankfully, there's like so many. I don't even know if I want to say there's one specific type of person.
Yeah.
It's such a diverse field and so many different things you can do. I'd say someone who really likes to ask questions. Like
Mhm.
if you're observing something and you're like, what does this do? Or I wonder if what would happen if this interacted with that? Then
Yeah.
you're asking, scientist questions. So you're automatically already, have the mind of a scientist. So
Yeah.
I'd say someone who wants to go into marine biology, if they like asking a lot of questions, if they really like marine life.
Mhm.
So if you are really passionate about protecting our oceans, protecting the animals that live in the ocean, those are definitely some the type of people that are in marine biology.
Okay. Now, what was your role to your current position? How'd you get here?
Yeah, so I originally, I wanted to go into shark science and I went through 4 years of school for that. I also
Mhm.
got my master's degree, and I didn't, immediately go into shark science. I had to get through a couple doors to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And I started out doing education. Never thought I would ever do education. If you had
Okay.
asked me like 10 years ago when I first started college.
Yeah.
But I started my role in marine biology through education. So teaching other kids about the ocean and different ocean life. And then from that, I went into sea turtles. And also, if you'd asked me if I'd worked with sea turtles when I was younger, then I would have been like, no, never sea turtles. But sea turtles paid the bills.
Yeah.
So I started with sea turtle research and actually kind of found a passion for sea turtles, found a
Yeah.
liking for doing sea turtle work and learning about their conservation. And, they're just such a unique species and very popular here in Florida. So through that, I kind of got more into the world of marine biology and really didn't get into my shark science until my master's degree. So in my master's, that's when I actually, did research with sharks, did shark
Mhm.
tagging, with my lab. And yeah, so that was really cool. And after I got my master's is when we started Minorities in Shark Sciences.
Mhm.
So it was me and three other Black women
Yeah.
in shark science. We met each other through Twitter, out of all places. And it was the first time any of us had ever seen another Black woman in shark science. So I had gone my entire career without seeing, let alone another Black person in
Yeah.
shark
Yeah.
science. And we really connected on that and wanted to create a space where, that wouldn't be an issue. So we
Yeah.
wanted to create a safe space for people of color, women of
Mhm.
gender minorities of color within shark science, and also create a space where if people are kind of in a rut or they don't know where to go next, we can be
Yeah.
that resource to push them to the next stage that they want to be at. So that's kind of how I got. It was very windy road,
Yeah.
but I'd say that if you have a plan, the plan most likely is not going to go exactly the way you planned
Right.
it. But yeah, there's just so many different avenues within this field, and just getting to where I am now, I definitely had to, get through a couple doors and also
Mhm.
go in different ways that I never thought I would have to go. So.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you persevered and you stuck it out, and now you're doing what you want to do. It's great. Now, what I kind of know, but what makes this fun, interesting, or exciting, or all the above?
Yeah, so definitely my favorite part of working both with sharks and sea turtles is the field work. So I love
Mhm.
being outside. That was the first thing I realized when I first started doing marine biology classes. I was like,
Yeah.
I love being outside. I love collecting data, love getting my hands dirty.
Oh yeah.
And the field is also so unpredictable. And I think that's my favorite part is you never know what you're going to get. You never
No.
know what kind of sharks we're going to get on the line. You
Okay.
never know if something crazy might happen that day. Like, I don't know, maybe it'll just start torrential raining and you'll have to work through the rain, which makes everything harder. But, I don't know. I kind of find it pretty fun. But yeah, I think that's the most interesting. I love the field and I love like the unpredictable situations that you can get in the field.
Okay. Now, I said I was going to ask you another question to follow it up that ends it, but I do have another question. So, are you a scuba diver? Are you trained scuba diver as well?
Yeah, so I do scuba dive. I don't necessarily scuba dive for research.
Okay.
In marine biology, you don't have to have a scuba certification. You don't even have to get in the water if you don't
Oh,
want to.
okay.
Yeah, so there's you can do more lab-based work. I know
Mhm.
marine biologists who they might work with like skeletons or like
Oh, okay.
vertebrae of animals, and they'll never step foot on a boat because that's not what they that's not
Okay.
what they're about. But I am scuba certified. I love the water. I love
Yeah.
snorkeling and things I love all water activities.
Okay. All right. Now, my final question is, what advice would you give to someone that might want to follow in your footsteps, whether it be in Florida or Michigan or anywhere else in the country?
Yeah, my advice would be to learn as much as you can. So what I did, since I was in Detroit and I had no access to the ocean, I found access to the ocean through books, through reading.
Right.
I liked to read a lot when I was younger, and I would read like literally every single shark book in the library. And so I always say, like, find a way to access what you're passionate about. Even like technology now, you can
Right.
access pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So if you have a passion for marine biology, just, try to access it in your own way if you're not near the ocean. Go to aquarium, go
Yeah.
to, the museum, things like that. But yeah, and then also, you mentioned like perseverance. I think that's a big thing. So marine biology, unfortunately, still isn't super diverse. So,
Yeah.
if you are the only one in the room that looks like you, don't be discouraged
Right.
because, you don't be discouraged. And I lost my thought, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. Don't be
All
discouraged.
right.
But yeah, and also don't be super down on your grades. A lot of people think like, oh, you
Mhm.
have to be super smart to be a marine biologist. Like you
Yeah.
have to have all A's and B's,
Right.
but you really don't have to. That's just like a school thing. Like, yes, you have to like get through school and
Yeah.
graduate and everything like that, but never be discouraged if you're, comparing yourself to someone
Right.
else. I think that's also another piece of advice is to never compare your journey with others because
Yeah.
everyone's journey is different.
That's right. Well, Carlee, I really appreciate this. I was looking forward to this interview, and I'm so thankful that you took time to share your knowledge with us. And I wish you all the best moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much.